I am a master procrastinator. Or maybe a serial one. And you may be one too. There's this common misconception that people who procrastinate are lazy. But I know I'm not lazy. Even though I struggle with procrastination, my days can still be perfectly scheduled. There's some days I'm the busiest bee and even working the hardest on a project I'm pursuing. Procrastination doesn't mean that you're not routine or you're unpredictable, but that's also the problem. The true reality of some of us is that time passes by as we fill our days with tasks, repeating them again and again and again, creating the perfect illusion. But somehow, last week's to-do list always ends up being this week's agenda, no matter how busy I've made myself feel. It's always felt like there's just so much to do, and I've somehow convinced myself that it was just never the right time. It wasn't the right time to wash the dishes, to clean my room, to pick up my camera, to start on my work. It always seemed like tomorrow would be perfect. And most days, that perfect tomorrow never came. But by the end of my days, I was always left reflecting. I continued to find myself in a never-ending loop. See, the thing is, even though we all have our struggles, we are still human. I still crave laughter, experiences, and the depth life had to offer. I like to call it balance. Living. Some may call it running away. But I like to believe that's something we're all good at. Because the truth is, no matter how much we like to fill our time with activities and distractions, reality will always be a shocking reminder. One of the hardest things about procrastination that I feel like we choose to ignore is the fact that because we refuse to make those hard decisions and sit in our discomfort, we end up sitting back and watching others achieve the goals that we have set out to accomplish. I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's not because that they're more skilled than we are, or even that they're more talented than we are. And despite what our brains like to make us feel, it's not even because they are better than us. It's just because they showed up. They didn't wait. They got started.
I don't really think about it, honestly. I haven't thought about procrastination. When it does happen, I immediately check myself. Most people kind of waste their potential with procrastination, and they end up missing out, losing out on something that could have been, should have been, would have been, but you didn't do it. So that part is the disappointment with procrastination.
See, with all the issues that procrastination brings and the consistent consequences that it also forces us to face, the one thing I feel like we can at least ask ourselves is why? Why do I, or even you, continue to stick with this false sense of comfort? Why? See, I've always been a very creative person and a very smart child. From a young age, expression and ideas came naturally to me. It was kind of like how I understood the world. The more I explored it, is the more it flourished. And with recognition came expectation. The funny thing about expectation is that it can be the reason you rise, and it can be the reason you fall. You see, we all have this perfect life we imagine for ourselves. The big dreams, the goals that feel just within reach, but the path to greatness can look so far away, so unattainable, so terrifying. And that's where fear comes in. When we set impossibly high standards, the pressure to be flawless becomes heavy. It turns into anxiety, into overwhelmness, into the fear of not measuring up. So we delay, we avoid, and we call it procrastination. But really, it's protection. It's emotional regulation. A temporary escape from what feels unbearable. So, because we struggle with the idea of failure, we condition our bodies to stall. See, I have this issue. I like to put things off. And the funny thing about it is I'll have a long to-do list of everything that I need to do. And because I consistently waste time, it becomes a lot heavier. So I end up finding myself in this never-ending loop of, okay, well, I need to clean my room. But I can't clean my room if my closet is not organized, and I have to organize my closet. But then I also have to organize my desk. And then if I organize my desk, I also have to put the kitchen just up in the kitchen, and then I have to sweep, and then I have to mop. But if I do that, then I have to also clean the bathroom. And then it becomes this never-ending cycle of things that I have to do and accomplish. And because I've wasted all that time, then it all piles up. And then when it's time to start, it feels very overwhelming. And yes, that is a product of me wasting my own time. It also just showcases like the weight and pressure that you can feel, which is why it may feel so much easier to just pick up your phone and scroll and doom scroll, or sometimes just feels better to play a movie and watch and spend your time doing that just because it feels safe. I've had this class to complete for a while, and the videos are like 6 minutes long. Imagine this, it's like 6 chapters with like 6-minute videos. Maybe the longest video is probably like 10 minutes. And because it was for a class, I put it off so much, but I end up finishing Riverdale, an 8-season show with 40-minute episodes in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a half. I mean, from morning to night, I was watching it. I mean, driving. Don't tell nobody that. Don't tell nobody I told you that. Driving, watching Riverdale. I'll be at a shoot. When the shoot paused and it's lunchtime, watching Riverdale. But the thing that would help me get a credit for my course, I would put it off. Even though if I had tackled it, it would have made me like get to it so much sooner. I share that story only because it comes to the realization that sometimes we are our own worst enemy. Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like any normal person who has a problem, eventually there is a moment where you wake up and you start to feel the weight of the choices that you make, the things you did and things that you didn't. When that happens, we start looking for answers, for a meaning. And the funny thing about it is that my wake-up call came from a cruise. Jamaica. Truthfully, I didn't even want to go on this trip. Like, from it was presented to me and my mom was telling me, I was just kind of like, no. Of course, my trip started off with me dealing with the consequences of my own procrastination. As soon as we got on the boat, my mom helped me finish up my hairstyle.
Good talk. Good go. Any more third? No.
For about 2 years now, the women of my church have been going on this cruise as our annual women's retreat trip. It's just a way for us to talk about God and be realistic of the things that we're facing, and also just learn from each other in a more relaxed setting. I really didn't know what to expect, but the truth is I also knew that it was going to come with a lot of laughter. When we're going through our respective struggles, it's easy to feel like we are alone. But I really feel like on this trip, God chose to show me in small ways that I wasn't as invisible as I've been feeling.
Hi guys, how you doing? Guess what? It's me. I'm back on the camera again. I've got Noob, and she's visiting from Florida and Jamaica. And what she's doing, right? She's in Nassau, Bahamas. Come to Bahamas Rum Cake Factory. She's got her rum cakes. She's gonna taste them right now. She's tasting the original and pina colada. I know she's gonna get hers. I know she's gonna get her shot of rum outside when she gets to her 4-pack. So guys, come to Nassau, get your rum cakes. She's here. Come see me. I'll take care of you. Be good, be safe.
I'm a firm believer in getting away to clear your head. Usually my place to go is Jamaica, but I've been dealing with so much on my mental that at this trip I decided that it was time for me to pour into myself and do the things that have been on my mind. I decided to pick up my camera more and to be intentional with the things I recorded. I'm so used to being behind the camera and capturing everybody else. I think for a change I wanted to see what I look like in front of the camera. I've been talking about it so much, and once I actually adapted this thought, everything kind of just switched. Being on this trip with these women of God taught me so much.
Everybody say Bahamas!
I got to see and hear a lot of women's stories, and even though some things that we go through are very heartbreaking, the reality is that doesn't mean that kindness and love can't still live within us, even if our life isn't perfect. One thing I also learned on this trip is when you're following your purpose, sometimes it's going to look out of the ordinary to other people. Because I chose to pick up my camera a lot more, that means I lagged behind because I wanted to get the shot while everybody else wanted to move forward. And I had to become okay with knowing that what I was doing was for me, because at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and it was my vision I was fulfilling, and the vision that God had set into me. With my newfound wisdom, I was so excited to begin. I started drafting out my ideas on the beach, and I couldn't wait to get home to work on my film. And even though I was excited, it still took me months to get this film out and to actually work on it. A conversation I had on the beach that day was about the difference between your procrastination and being in a waiting season. Sometimes God has us in a season of waiting and we're not actually procrastinating. He's waiting for the perfect time for him to release the things that he's put inside of you. And it's very important for us to know the difference between when God has us in a waiting season and when we're actually stunning our own growth. The example that we talk about on the beach was Moses and Jonah. How Jonah ran away from God's calling, but Moses periodically was always in a season where God told him to wait because it just wasn't the right time. I truly believe that if Moses didn't listen to God, he wouldn't have been able to accomplish all that he needed to. So I'm learning that sometimes it's not that I'm procrastinating, but it's okay to slow down and take my time. But I still need to make sure that I'm accomplishing and at least moving towards my goals. I just want to say I'm still actively dealing with procrastination. I have been procrastinating this very video from October, actually August, maybe even before that. These are old clips that I am still putting together. And even in the midst of me procrastinating it, I really feel like there was a reason why God did not make me just put the video out. Of course, I think that I need to spend more time doing my work and pouring time into my own projects. But I do believe that sometimes there's a difference between procrastination and being in a season of waiting. And I just want to also let anybody know that there is a time where you are actually procrastinating, but there's also a time period where God is holding you in a certain space, in a certain season, in a certain lesson, until he is ready to crack the doors open for you. So even though I'm not trying to say procrastinate, and I'm not trying to give you an excuse and tell you that your procrastination is good, because it's not. It's not. Your procrastination is not good. We see it over and over in the Bible where there are people that procrastinate, like Jonah, and the consequences that he had to go through. But like you see, like people like Moses, where it wasn't really that he was procrastinating, but God had Moses in different seasons of waiting. That wasn't the example that we talked about, but I hope that's a good example to say. I just really want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't think that I have the answers to life, and the reason why I made this video is because I am actively fighting and dealing with a lot of issues in my own life as I am growing, and it's important to myself that I understand that I'm not trying to chase perfection. I think chasing perfection is really what has gotten us all to be feeling overwhelmed and very burdened. Thank you guys so much for watching the video.